Hello, this is Jenstar from the AU Review. Today we have two very special guests from Japan who came with the Japanese Film Festival. They're from the movie Don't Lose Heart. And we have here award-winning actress Kaoru Yachigusa. Hello. And also director Yoshihiro Fukagawa. Could you please give our audience a brief overview of the movie?
はい、この映画は、日本の98歳から、デビューされた、詩人の柴田豊さんをモデルにした映画です。
This is a film about a Japanese poet, Toyo Shibata, who debuted as a poet at the age of 92.
隣にいらっしゃる、八千草薫さんがその豊さんの、59歳から、98歳までを演じられました。
And the actress next to me, Kaoru Yachigusa, played the part of Toyo, starting at the age of 59 through to 98.
彼女が書く詩を、縦糸に、彼女の半生を、遡っていくんですけど、その時々にあった物語を横糸に、映画を編んでみました。
So the film is conceived with her poetry as the main device, and as we go back in time, we work in the various episodes at each point as we go further back in time.
詩を通じて、彼女の、豊さんの、物語を、オーストラリアの方がどういうふうに、感じ受けるのか、とても楽しみにしております。
I really look forward to finding out how people in Australia will respond to her story and her poetry.
So you said that Don't Lose Heart is based on the true story of Toyo Shibata. Now, a lot of her poetry is based on her life experiences, and you have artfully portrayed this throughout the movie by using some of her poems written by Toyo and infusing it into your storytelling. Now, did you find it particularly difficult to convert her life story into film?
そうですね。その実在の柴田豊さんという、方が、僕らが、脚本を書いている時にはまだご存命だったんです。で、ここにも撮影前に亡くなられてしまったんですけど、その、実際のモデルがいるっていうふうなことでどこまで物語として飛躍していいのか、それとも彼女の、価値観に寄り添っていくのか、それのさじ加減がとても難しいといえば難しかったです。
Because we're working with someone who was alive at the time we were writing the script, she passed away just before we started shooting. But the point is, her real life experiences were very important. So it was hard to decide just how much to tell the stories our way as opposed to what really happened and how much we should work along with the spirit of her poetry.
How did you go about choosing the actors for the film? Did you have like a particular requirement for each stage of her life?
はい、まずプロデューサーからその詩集を渡されて物語を考えていったんですけど、その時に、柴田豊さんのその写真がその詩集の帯についてたんですね。で、その詩集の帯を見ていて、とても品のあるおばあさんだったんです。で、その品を、表現するのにパッて浮かんだのが、プロデューサーと僕の頭に浮かんだのが八千草薫さんだったので、第一候補としてもうやっていただけなくてもいいから当たってみようというふうな思いで、お声掛けをしました。
So when I was given the book of poetry to develop into a film, the actual book had a promotional flap on it, and there was a photo of Toyo Shibata on that promotional flap around the book. And in looking at her face, it just struck me how elegant and classy she was in a very old school sense. So, you know, the first idea that I had with the producer was that we'd really like to cast Yachigusa-san in that role. And I wasn't really sure if she'd accept, but I thought, look, this is my first candidate and I just have to go for it.
So the story of Toyo Shibata and her poetry is truly uplifting and inspirational to the young and the old, because Don't Lose Heart was based on a real person. So Kaoru, what did you do to get into character? Did you have to do a lot of research on Toyo, and or did you draw from your own personal experiences?
それは両方ですけれども、やはり豊さんの詩を何度も読んでいるうちにこうイメージがはっきりできてきて、 でも豊さんも頭の中はとても若い方ですよね。でも実際に体は衰えてるわけで、その衰え方をどういうふうにしたらいいのかっていうのはとても難しかったですけども、でもだんだんその詩を作るようになってから、あとは息子の健一ととても豊さんの、本当は最初の頃は少し豊さんが随分遠いところにいらっしゃる感じがしたんですけども、あとはあまり年齢のことも考えないで、とても豊さんと近い気持ちになってきたなと思ったんですね。
It's actually a bit of both. I did both research and drew a lot from my own experience in developing the role. The thing that really struck me was that there's a bit of distance between myself and her, but she always remained someone who was very young on the inside, even though her body was, aging, and therefore she was losing a lot of ability to do what she liked. So that was part of the thing that I wanted to develop and work on really closely. The other thing is that I read her book of poetry over and over again, so I actually got a good feel for her, for who she was, especially pertaining to her and her son. So by the end of the process, I felt a lot closer to her.
Well, the acting between the cast members for Don't Lose Heart, that had a lot of chemistry, so it was very fabulous and very convincing for me, and so I could feel that chemistry. Now, did this transcend into real life, and do you still keep in touch with any of your co-stars?
はい、皆さんがよくこの柴田豊さんの、人生を理解して、で役者さんもそれぞれの役割に徹してくださったのが、その映画としてのアンサンブルがうまくいったんだと思います。
Everyone was really committed to understanding and portraying the story of Toyo Shibata. So I think that kind of worked towards getting the ensemble cast to work really, really